Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood, and a finally finished dream come true here. This is one of the reasons, honestly, that I wanted to get a 3D printer in the first place. This is a print design by somebody by the name of Erdrich. I found him on Thingiverse, and it's a free thing to file to download to print. And I'm going to show you, once you've printed it, how to put it together. So today I'm assembling my Ork Shoota. Daka, 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 daka. Hi, my name is Craig Thompson Wood. I'm your host on Teaching with Board Games, and today I am really excited to bring this one to you. This is one that has been something I've been working on for a very long time, ever since I got my 3D printer, which is like almost 2 years ago, but it's kind of an on and off project I've been working on. I started this one as soon as I got my printer, because this is one of the things that inspired me to get a 3D filament printer. This and the Space Hulk board, which I printed off. So now I've got both. So this is one. The Space Hulk board was finished a while ago. Well, for the main Space Hulk, I still have to do the stuff for Deathwing. But this was when I started. But there was things I needed to learn about supports and things like that that weren't possible until I'd learned the things I needed to learn. So it was a work in progress, and then problems with the printer here and there, and things just got in the way, et cetera, et cetera. So, but it's done. It's finally done. And today, what I thought I would do is put it together. Now, full disclosure, I have put it together once already, just to make sure I knew what I was doing and how things go and everything like that. And there's still a couple things that I'm going to be sort of touching up first, just in case anybody's having the same problems. I'm going to give you some ideas of what I've done. Like, for example, you can see here, like this, where it printed badly. I just used some filler, like you put like drywall filler or something, and just put it on there and sanded it down. Just makes a nice smooth surface, right? And I sanded it down a bit. I could have done more if I had maybe like some sanding machinery to really make those round, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it as is. But yeah, so going to start putting this together, and hope you enjoy. All right, here we go. So to give you a sense of the scale of this thing, somebody on Thingiverse had said they'd done the calculations for it. It says it takes about 422 hours of continuous printing to make this. In that time, I asked AI just to figure out for me how much filament would be used in such amount of time, and it was about 2,120. So there is more than 2 kilometers of filament making this thing. Like I'm not sure if it's getting the full scale here, but like here's my hand, and I'm a fairly big guy. I'm 6'2", 250-ish pounds. But yeah, so I mean, like this thing is absolutely beefy. So in the putting together this thing, there is some parts like this here. This barrel, as you can see, is 3 separate pieces. The shroud here was 2 separate pieces. The buckles and things, they're separate pieces. These things, the handle brackets, I have not glued on yet. So anyway, so going back to the gluing, so I glued the barrel together, glued the barrel to the body. The body was 2 pieces, which is glued together. There's a clip plate in here, which opens to allow the clip to go in and out. The clip was 3 pieces, plus the brackets, plus the clips. All that's been glued together. And then the under shroud plate, ring plate, and then so that was glued together. But and then there's a back piece here that was glued on. Now, as you can see here, this shell release does move separately from here. So there are still some moving pieces on here and things that can be released and stuff. So it's kind of cool, all the little things that can happen. And the trigger also, I'll show the trigger when I get there, but the trigger is actually able to be pulled using magnets to have the proper effect of having the trigger come back and forth. Yeah, so that's it for the the glue. One thing I actually am going to do as well is for the this bolt here, which goes in for this clip plate, this clip release. It doesn't really fit snugly in there, so it's not really turning very well. So I am going to glue that in there. I'm going to glue the stem here, and so it's because it doesn't fit snugly into that thing. So I'm going to do that so that way that opens nicely, opens and closes so I can release the clip. Right? But that's it. And everything else then is bolted on with these bolts. Now one thing unfortunately I didn't realize until some of them started breaking, I went back and I looked at the notes and I missed the part where it said the bolts should be printed at 75% infill. And I think I maybe did 15 to 20% infill. So just a note, because these are pretty, you know, they take some stress as you're tightening and things. You don't want them snapping off like some of mine did. If I need to, I'll print more, obviously at a higher percentage of the infill. But I also don't plan on using this for like cosplays and things like that. It's going to be a wall decoration. Once it's finished, I'm hanging on the wall and it stays there. I'm not going to really be much for letting people touch it. Now, one thing I am planning to doing too, oh, actually this was a piece here that I glued on, the bottom bracket of the handle. For whatever reason, there's like, I don't know if this can be seen here. It's kind of got this bubbly texture. I don't know if that's really showing. It's worse on this side. So what I'm going to do, I bought some hockey tape. And I'm going to tape that around the handle first. I think that'd be very orky. And then put the pad things on. Or I might just leave it like that. I'll see how it looks and how I feel. But these handle brackets go on here. And they need to be glued on because they don't screw on like the bolts. But yeah, like I said, this needs to be addressed here. This I don't know why it's loose like that. It feels like, you know, like a bubble or something. But yeah, so let's get right to it. And you know, the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking that this handle, once it has tape on it, like some sort of wraps, Ork wrapped it, why would they then put this on over top? I think this just kind of breaks up the handle to not make it just look so plain. But I think once I have the wraps on there, I think it's going to be fine. And nothing to say I couldn't stick this somewhere else. I mean, that's very orky, like something broke and they just stick a thing over top. So I might even just do that. But for now, let me just fast forward you through as I wrap up the handle. And there we have it. So it's not very visible right now, but I think once it's painted, it'll be more so. And again, using the hockey tape has given it an authentic feel in terms of having like a fabric there. So I like it. I like it a lot. And for anybody else who's done this gun, the Shoota, I don't know how many have done this, so this just makes mine just that much more unique. And that's the thing with Ork Shootas, is that every one is going to be different. Like the Orks, when they're not exactly mass manufacturing in the way that the Imperial Guard do. So now that I've done that, actually I'm going to hold off. Here's where the trigger is going to go, in here. So I just need to get that put in place before I attach this to back here. So let's maybe just start from the front and work our way back. So take that off. So just set this up like this. The first thing that's going to go on is I'm going to take this ring plate here, and this is going to sit inside here. Now it has a hole here, and it's a little rough down here, but I don't care because it's all sitting in here. It's never going to be seen. So that slides in here like so. It's a little snug. I don't want to break it, that'd be sad. There we go. Slot it in. So the bolt will go in after, because the bolt's going to attach into this. That's just the guiding hole there. So this, then I have to figure this out again. Okay, so these two holes here in the bottom are going to align with the two holes in the bottom here. Those two holes. And these along the side will align with the ones in the side here. Okay, so this slides on. like so. And that goes on the bottom like so. There we go. Just gonna flip this over to its side so I can see the holes here. Oh, fine. Maybe what I'll do is I'll put this on first. It's easier to line up this way when it's not attached to the whole gun. There we go. So I got those lined up like so. Put the screw in there, the bolt, et voila. And now it's attached. And that one. Now, come time for painting, I probably will disassemble this again in some parts. Like certainly this part will come undone. I'll undo all of this just so I can make sure I'm getting the things lined up properly and done properly for the painting. And these are a bit snug here now. Maybe what I'll do is I'll loosen these up first. There we go. That's better. Can't tighten them too much because otherwise everything else is not going to be as cooperative. Okay, we'll start the back here. And then do this one. And of course you can hear the 3D printer in the background, my workhorse. I prefer not to let it rest. I've always got things I want to be printing. Alright, that's the other side, 3 more bolts. That's 1. Now I do have a couple of extra bolts. I printed off a bunch of extras, but in the first building, a couple of them did break. A few of them broke, so however many extras I'd had at the beginning, I'm now down to 2 extra. So there we go. That is the shroud plate, and the ring all on. And now we can slide this on here. Set this up like so. So what we now is this goes up here, and we have a top plate, which is this one, which holds them together. Go. Oh, uh-oh, that is the piece that holds that lets the clip in and out. So that comes out, as does this one. This is for the shell release. This one also can slide in and out freely. Apparently you can push that to like just knock a bullet out of the chamber if you wanted. All right, so the next part I'm going to put on, I'm going to turn it over onto its side here. Remove the tape string. And there is a plate that goes on the top of this. So now the plate is like so. It gives you the opportunity to do, like I've done a couple of them. So that was something of my own. I found an Ork logo and I used Tinkercad just to add that to the plate. And now that I look at it, I did it on the wrong side. Huh. Yeah, well, that's fine. And cut that out. So I also added the blood axe symbol because the original design for the gun had that, I forget what the symbol's called, but it's the lower jaw with the teeth. But I've always been a big blood axe fan, so I wanted to represent my blood axe boys. So this goes on over top like so, and it's going to take some screws, 5 screws, bolt side. That was one problem I had when I was, I kept calling them screws, so when I wanted more quote-unquote screws, I would look on my file folder with all the STLs, and I'd be looking for the file called screws, but I couldn't find anything because they're called bolts. So, okay, so this bolt here is, it impacts this part here. I don't know whether it's just the way I put it together or whether it's just in the design. And they did mention there's a couple screws that need to be cut down, so that one I'll have to reduce the size of to get the bolt to go in fully. Well, I mean, again, you could leave it out like that, pretty orky, but I'm not going to. And then the last one here. Okay. Now, like I said, that piece had fallen out on the inside here. This thing here, this slides in and out pretty easily. Be like so. There. So it's back in again. And I'm going to flip it over now to the other side. And you have the second body plate. And this is where I'm going to add the blood axe symbol. Now, for whatever reason, I think it's probably because like this one, it had some problems with the printing. And it, I don't recall now why it printed so oddly on the corners there. It kind of curves in. But I am probably going to then, this one did not, in my first assembly, did not sit well, so I'm going to glue this one on. Because, again, my dedication to the blood axes is complete and loyal. So, put that on. And again, depending on what you're using it for, like how much do you really want to be changing these things anyway? I mean, it's nice that they can be just held on with just the bolts, but you know, if you're like me and you're going to just want, once it's painted, you're going to want it to stay assembled. See, it's a little wobbly, so that's fine. The bolts are flush. It's just I think because of this back part doesn't quite meet, and that's falling out again. But again, once this has been glued to the screw piece, then that won't happen anymore. And I guess while I have it on this side, I have two plates. I have a plain one and a one with a glyph. So I'm going to put the plain one on this side because you know, I already have this here. I don't want to have everything decorated on one side and nothing on the other. I think on the other, what I might do is just paint like tally marks, you know, for what the Ork who owned this. What had he? How many had he killed? So that's some. There we go. You see it really coming together now. There. So I'm just going to get loose there on the shroud. Alright. So just now I need this plate. Then go into the back here, like so. Now, get a sense of what it looks like. I mean, the clip has this rounded part in the front. It goes in that way so that it sits. Fighting gravity. So it's in there. There you go. And I printed off a couple bullets. These are the shells that go with it. And I can go in there. I mean, obviously top load when the clip is out, but that's that. And then this piece goes here to, well, when this is attached in there, it'll attach in here, and this will then open and close as this thing. It'll make this raise and lower. When it's up, the clip can slide out. When it's down, it locks onto this lip of the clip here, preventing the clip from leaving the. Right. So now it's just there's the top rail here, and well, let's just do the top rail, and then we'll get onto the handle, and I'll show you the trigger. So the top rail is this piece here. It goes on like so. One piece of this bolt at the back here. Oh, that is broke the bolt. Yes, I did. Snapped it. Okay, so I think I've got one more here. Oh, what did I just break? I was popping that bolt out. Okay, yeah, I got to reprint some bolts here. So let me pause this while I go reprint some bolts. Okay, so while those screws are printing, I'm going to show you the trigger now. A little hard to see because of my very poor lighting here, but there is like a recessed disc area there. There's also one on top of the trigger here and one underneath. So these are where you're going to put I've got some disc magnets, and they're going to go in there. So for extra strength, just for really make sure it's pushing the thing back up, because it's when the trigger's up that's going to go forward, right? And then you're pulling it back to shoot. So I really want it up as much as possible. So I'm going to put 2 disc magnets on the bottom of the handle inside this area here. And I'm just going to super glue them in place there. Then I'm going to put one here and have it opposing pole, and that should then give me the desired effect that I want. So let me just, okay, well, maybe I'll put the glue in there first. So, glue needs to be drilled. Hold, please. Okay, that's taken care of. Wherever the glue gets stuck, I have a pin vise drill that I use to just drill that out. So we'll put a little dab of glue in there, and put. It doesn't matter which side I put the magnet down, so I'll just put it down like so. And I'm going to put a dab of glue on top of that one. And then put another magnet on top, just for some extra boost to the power. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry. Now don't worry, I'm not supporting the use of narcotics on my YouTube channel here. This is in fact baking soda. This is a little trick I learned about relatively recently, actually, in terms of how long I've been painting and doing this kind of stuff. So just a little bit of baking soda though on super glue will cause a chemical reaction to harden instantly. So there we go. So that way we don't have to wait. I just have to remember where I keep it. So that's that done. Let's just test with one magnet alone. Yeah, okay, so those magnets are not coming out. So what I need to find out now is what is the repellent side and what is the attracting side. Okay, so that should be the attracting side. just going to not take chances here. Stick it at the end of this here. Oh, I had it. I was right. I just didn't trust. Okay, so that is the side we want. So I will put my glue there, my magnet in there, and a little pinch of baking soda. What? You can even see it. I know it's hard to see on the camera, but it kind of goes a little cloudy. It shows that it has done its job. Okay, so you see how immediately the trigger doesn't want to stay down, right? So seems a bit rough in some spot. If I just smooth the trigger a bit. But again, it's not like I'm going to be, like I said, my intention for this is as a wall display. It's not to actually be cosplaying and pulling the trigger and yelling wog as I do it. So what you see there. Like, let's see. Like when this thing is here, how much room is it even going to have? Yeah. I'll try to see. What's in here? It's really not going to have much room to move it, honestly. That's sufficient. That kind of gives the idea of what it's supposed to be doing, right? So I'm happy with that. That is good there. So now it's just a case of this one down here. I have this last bolt here, which I will screw it there. Oh. Now, unfortunately, like I said, this is broken off the top here because of this. And we'll put the clip in. Is it the right way? Yep. And in reading the instructions, it says this clip is supposed to be cut short. This bolt here is supposed to be cut short. So, oh, and there you go. This is what happens when you don't put the bolts at 75% infill. They snap. It doesn't take much effort to snap them. So that's that. You know what? I will remove that one for now. Put the trigger back in. Trigger back in, like so. And use that bolt here. It's making me think now. I'm only printing 6 bolts right now just to get by, but the practical part of me is thinking, no, I really should just be biting the bullets, and so that one broke there anyway, so I'm going to use that one for here. So that one will go fully in. Yeah, but just redo all the bolts now, just bite the bullet, get them all done, because I'd hate to think that, you know, I'm transporting this one day, like maybe I'm moving a house or something, and something happens to it. That's it. So like I said, I'm going to take some time to reprint the screws, and once I've done that, then I'm going to paint it. So maybe let me know if you've watched the video and you've enjoyed this, and would like to see more. Then let me know if you'd like to watch a painting video of this, and like how much of this do you want to actually watch me paint. I imagine a lot of this, honestly, I'm going to be doing with spray paints and things, just to get the base colors down, and then start picking up some of the details, do the weathering and things like that. So I'm a fairly quick painter too, so may not be too bad, but that's it. So yeah, this has been a project that I have been dreaming of since before I got my 3D printer. This is, like I said, one of the things that made me want to get a 3D printer, and now it's finally printed just onto the painting part now. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Do remember to hit like and subscribe, as it does help the channel. And until next time, I'm your host, Craig Thompson Wood, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.